No one we've talked to can give us any logical reason for this. We have tried to pin down the reasons for the seemingly unlikely marriage of the homosexual movement and the International Olympic Committee. We have found that sodomites fully embraced the Olympics because of this connection to ancient Greece, where their lifestyle, since condemned for thousands of years, was encouraged. They are hoping for a decisive breakthrough in their quest by using ancient Greece and the Olympics as a battering ram to flatten medical, political, and religious opposition. Now, thus the Olympic movement proving itself to be an absurd confusion of conflicting notions and superficial reasoning, nevertheless successfully blends together many different nations, ideologies, and religions, and conducts its business under a supposed banner of peace, diversity, understanding, and tolerance. Now, under that broad banner, the Olympic ideals are almost universally accepted worldwide. In fact, in the ancient world during the Olympics, a universal truce was declared. During this truce of Zeus, legal battles and armed conflict were suspended while the sacred holy games were in progress. That was the overwhelming power of the Olympics. Now, there was even a UN declaration for the nations to do the same.
I solemnly appeal to all states to observe the Olympic truce and to strive toward building lasting peace.
Furthermore, the International Olympic Committee and the United Nations unveiled joint projects to deal with the estimated 1.3 billion people who live below the poverty line. The officials said it was important to link the IOC and the UN in the battle because those two organizations have probably the widest reach in the world. The IOC has 197 member nations, 12 more than the UN. Now, after the Romans conquered the Greeks in the 2nd century BC, eventually, political and religious disputes led to the complete banning of the Olympics approximately 500 years later. Though the date is now contested, scholars had believed they came to an end in AD 393 when Roman Emperor Theodosius the Great declared the Olympics were a non-Christian pagan celebration. So, Theodosius decided there would be no more tribute to a god of the rival Greeks, and he closed the shrines. About 30 years later, his successor finished the job by burning them. Thus, the proposition that the Olympics were viewed as a pagan celebration can be traced back over 1,600 years. Now, this was turned upside down in the opening ceremony of the Games. The lights were darkened, and the announcers told us that the darkness represented the 1,500 years that the Olympics were not conducted.
1,500 years when the ancient games were forgotten.
The buzzword now among religious, even Christian leaders, is ecumenism. Every religious belief is given respect, even encouraged on the home turf in the house of worship of another religion. For the Olympics, here's how it was put in an article by Lillian Lee Kim of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. The Georgia Tech Catholic Center and Baptist Student Center will become ecumenical houses of worship hosting various religions. While Muslims perform their daily prayers on the Catholic Center's first floor, Catholics can receive Mass upstairs. Buddhists and Hindus will have their own prayer rooms in the Baptist Center, where a large worship area has been reserved for Jewish services on Friday nights and Protestant services on Sundays. Now, are you realizing the religious truth is a moving target? Few religious leaders, especially Christian ones, have the courage to go against the Olympic grain and muster the assertion that theirs is the only truth. We have shown you how the Olympic Games are much more than just an athletic competition. We have shown how the push for world peace and unity under the spirit of tolerance and acceptance of everyone, with religious distinctives downplayed, are the guiding principles of the International Olympic Committee. We have shown how the gay and lesbian movement has seen the rare opportunity through the Olympics, where they have found sympathetic fellow travelers, and how they intend to exploit it for political purposes and force societal recognition of homosexuality. And finally, we believe that we have shown that the Bible has clearly predicted that peace and unity are going to come about, but under the eventual leadership of Antichrist. It will come about with plenty of help from the utopian dream catalyzed by the Olympians. Let me show you an example. At closing ceremonies, hundreds of children sang the anthem of the Olympic movement entitled "The Power of the Dream." They sang, quote, "The world unites in hope and peace. Pray that it will always be. It is the power of the dream that brings us peace." But what is the dream? For the vast majority, it certainly is not the return of Jesus Christ they are dreaming about. They are not waiting for the Prince of Peace. The dream is Coubertin's humanitarian New World Order. It is one easy to sing about, when only a few phrases need to be sung over and over, but it is impossible to precisely describe it. It is a movement with plenty of charitable slogans, but few specifics. And so the people of the world can pursue this dream on their own terms. They can be atheists, Hindus, Buddhists, or worshippers of the moon god, Allah. It doesn't matter, so long as Coubertin's Olympic humanism is at the center. The certainty that lofty-sounding humanistic deceptions can be passed off as truth, and indeed as the most noble of human aspirations, has been greatly magnified by this most recent Olympic Games. The fact that this new world, united in peace and safe from terrorism, could require a world army with a soldier on every city street corner is never mentioned. The fact that this security would require airtight electronic surveillance is not even considered. Yet the masses are going to gladly welcome this New World Order. They will rejoice at its establishment. Yes, peace is coming. It is the man-made peace forged by the brazen confidence of the Olympians and their multiculturally sensitive and tolerant followers that will be a powerful boost to the revelation of the Antichrist and the great tribulation that will follow it. Apocalyptic global conflict is coming. These are certainties, but they are sobering realities for us as Christians, ones that should motivate us to continue with our task of sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ around the world. Thank you for watching.
You'll first see in the northeast corner of the stadium the Olympic spirits that'll call the tribes of the world to Atlanta. The Olympic colors, yellow for Asia, and at the same time 20 by 200 foot streamers through the audience headed toward the floor of the arena. Now the blue for Europe. Green, Australia. Tunnels created in these Olympic spirits, the same used in the motion picture Twister, black for Africa. And finally, the Americas, South and North America, red. At least one of the 5 colors of the rings is in every flag of every nation. So the Olympic spirit has called the nations of the world with vocal calls and next percussion to gather